So I have started the recording now. If you don't want to be recorded, then you have to, unfortunately, leave the meeting. With that said, welcome to the DISC demo that we have for the PCA Library Services. Today, we will talk about creation of new ontologies in the user interface, as well as some other additions. And to demonstrate that functionality, we have Tora with us. She's a developer on our development team. So without further ado, I'll hand the word over to Tora.
Yes, let's see. So there we go. You should see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. So like Frederick said, we're going to go through a couple of new features today and a couple of changes that have been implemented into the user interface. We're going to have a look at this new search for PCA terms. We're going to have a look at the IMF elements page, where you can see details about the elements you can find in the library. And we're going to have a look at the new UI for creating new domain ontologies. So we will start with the search. The search is at the point now where you can search for pretty much any concept in the PCA library that you want. All hits will be classified with a descriptor of what they are, so it should be easier to navigate. They will also be marked as draft if they haven't been approved yet. So let's see if we search for a temperature transmitter. If you click, this is an IMF block, for example, you will arrive at this page. That will give more information about the block that you're looking at. So this page has been improved to show a little bit more information than it used to, and also structured it a bit so it should be easier to navigate. If we would want to look at, for example, a terminal that is connected to this transmitter, we can just click over here, and you'll be taken to a new page with information about the transmitter. So it's been the flow has been massively improved, where you can actually navigate a lot easier and see the connections between different elements. The same goes for attributes. If you want to look at a specific attribute connected to this terminal, you can ignore this string. It's just for further development purposes, but you get an overview of the attribute and different things. Oh, sorry about that. I can't really see the screen, but did someone have a question or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your terminal detailing,
Yes.
you don't show here where it came from. So, if anyone would get to this address, they don't know what it's a terminal of.
Right. We have definitely talked about that, and that is something that is on our improvement list.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's a good input.
Could I make a suggestion as well? On the search screen, if you can have a few additional columns to indicate if it's an IMF type and what type it is. Some additional information other than just the...
Yeah, you would want this to be IMF block, for example.
I just high-level columns to show some information. So it just becomes a little bit more meaningful.
Yeah.
And then in the main IMF, if you click on temperature transmitter.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
This is maybe something for further consideration, is that you split the screen. So when you click on product or process connection, it actually shows on the right-hand side. So you maintain the original context.
Okay, so you want to see two things at the same time.
It's a little bit like what Parolo said. You still see where you've come from, because you still have the main object open. but then you're seeing the sub information. So I think it'll be helpful to be able to retain that context.
Yeah, kind of seeing the information in relation to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely good input. I'll write this down. Yep. Other questions or inputs?
Yeah, sorry, just a quick input regarding the search again, the columns that Brenda mentioned. It's a good idea also in general to just combine that with filters, because this is for technically competent people that will make it much easier to actually navigate the results.
Definitely, that is also something that we have talked about and is in the pipeline for the search. So that's great input also. Yeah. Any other questions or inputs? That's great getting some feedback.
And this is just more a general question. Would I be correct in saying that the search is just Google type, as in it's searching everything?
Right now it's searching everything. This is searching everything. There are other search fields in different spots. If we access this, for example, this is an attribute search. So here you'll only search for attributes.
Yeah.
So there, yeah.
I think that if we had the filters on the main search page, it'll be, instead of having 10 different search pages, you could have one where you just focus it.
Yeah, that's definitely great input. Perfect. Anything else, or should we proceed to the domain ontology page? Yeah, I think we'll do that. So last presentation, Board took us through the new domain ontology endpoint and how that works. It was a bit more on the technical side, but now we have created a user interface for creating new domain ontologies when that should be needed. So if we just give it an arbitrary name like a little bit of info here, the reason for creating this ontology. And then you get the choice to add upper ontologies, which is basically the other ontologies that the new ontology will depend on and be in relation to. All new ontologies will be related to IDO at this point. So let's see if we want to go for for example, just to test it out. And we can make sure that we're logged in first. That would be great. And we submit it. So that is a success. At a later stage, we want this link to be clickable just as it is with the search. We haven't gotten that far yet, but right now we can go back to our search and we can search for our demo ontology. And if we click this, we get another information page where you can see what has been created and what is contained in the ontology. And this should contain even more information eventually. And that is pretty much what we had to show today. Maybe there are other inputs or questions?
Maybe a question around when you have created such and you are still on your in your control. Can you, if you have and you discover you have done a mistake, can you delete it?
That is something that we're talking about implementing too. So we haven't gotten that far yet. Right now, it's only creating. Yeah.
And maybe this might be something that's on the future roadmap, but some concept of a shopping basket, so you can add objects in and ultimately download them.
Oh, downloading them. Yeah.
So you search for your objects. You can say, yeah, I'm using the concept add to basket, but whatever way we term it.
Right.
And yeah, that can build up your grouping of IMF types
Yeah.
for what you want.
Mhm. Good
So
info.
you're gonna have an IMF type shopping spree.
Yeah, I think I think that'll be one of those really good experiences.
Yeah, that would make things easier to get a bit of an overview too, probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yep. Any other questions, inputs? It's great getting some feedback. So
Yep. Oh, I like the user interface from the, it's lean, it's easy to understand, it's easy to read, consume.
great. That is what we're aiming for. So
Mm.
that's great to hear.
Very good.
Yeah.
Just wanted to add one of the questions we sent out in the teaser yesterday regarding the workflow, for example, for adding the domain ontology. For those of you observing, what did you think of the workflow? Did it seem easy, too easy, or not enough, or yeah?
Yeah, it's more, when do you start a new ontology? Is it just to group a certain set of IMF types, or is it something that needs to be orchestrated and managed in a way so it doesn't become just a mess of loose ontologies, etc. So a little bit more about why is it there and when is it supposed to be used, how.
Mm-hmm. Anyone want to jump in on that?
Sure. I can try to answer that. It's Bohani here. Well, the domain ontologies at this moment is predominantly for reference data. So it's not intended as a grouping for IMF types.
Right.
So it's when we create new reference data underneath the IDEO upper ontology. So we might need another concept for grouping IMF types. And the shopping baskets, that's perhaps a great way of doing that for each and every individual, but we might want something more. So we're open for suggestions on how to actually group those concepts.
Mm. Yeah.
And the domain ontologies will eventually, the way forward there is that it's a concept that is added so that we can version our vocabularies going forward. But we can basically take snapshots in time and say that at this point, this is the vocabulary for this domain ontology.
Thank you.
Great. Well, great. I think it's really valuable to get some feedback, and we are continually improving, so it's fun.
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
Or if not, I guess we can finish off early and everyone gets 14 minutes of free time.
Yes. Friday afternoon.
Yes, quite the perk.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Okay, thanks guys, and have a nice weekend.
Thanks all.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice weekend.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Good weekend.